and welcome back, Rad Dads. Walter coming at you with a kind of a condensed microsode. I recorded half of this microsode months actually ago, and it's something I tried to fit into a certain time window. And as it is, I'm kind of an excitable guy, so I speak very quickly, right? So excuse me if it's a little extemporaneous. Yeah, and I kind of had to look that word up. Now, the other half I recorded genuinely, today. And I think it works really well because it identifies a contradiction. And I think it's really important to see this in our own lives. So I hope you enjoy what I'm about to talk about. And I will say that there's a big announcement at the end. Stay tuned for that. But I apologize if it's a little too quick for most of you because, sometimes when I get excited, I speak rather quickly. All right, so here we go. All right, Rad Dads, Walter coming at you with a really awesome microsode. All right, now here's my thing. I've kind of hatched this term, and maybe I recoined it. Maybe I repurposed it. I'm into repurposing. Anyway, it's relevant. I hear celebrities and entrepreneurs talk about hustle and grind, and those are really awesome terms. You get hustle and grind from different places. But one thing I don't really hear anybody talking about is this concept of seeing the target downfield, ways away, years, months, whatever the target date is, putting energy into it now and propelling it forward to that destination, hitting that target, whatever that target is. The term I'm talking about is Huck. That's right, Huck. Huck is hustle and grind mixed with purpose. Huck is putting energy into where you want to be, visualizing it, aiming for it, and executing on that vision. It's beginning with the end in mind and reverse engineering your actions, your thoughts, your steps. All right, how many people do that? Probably not many. For the longest time, neither did I. I took steps forward. I think I wanted to go this direction, so I took a step. Or, I took a couple steps in that direction and then figured out maybe that's not where I wanted to be. But in this journey of creating this podcast, I've actually learned to be a lot more strategic, which has been immensely helpful for me. And I've learned Huck. Now, you can't have Huck without hustle. Hustle it's getting things done now. It's being physically busy, one thing after the next, stepping things up. And hustle is an integral part of Huck. You can't have hustle, however, without grind. Grind is being able to see something difficult through. It's putting in the hours, pushing. It takes a lot of force to grind. But you can't have grind without confidence. Confidence allows you to know who you are, to know what you want. Confidence stems directly from past actions. That's how you get confidence. It doesn't come from anything in the future. I think we all can relate to that. How do you get confidence? The key of confidence is hope. And hope is what I'm trying to bring you through We Rad Dads. Now, this is something that I think that we all need to start practicing a lot more is begin with the end in mind because, as I just exemplified, it'll give you clarity to where you're going. So I'm going to lay it out in chronological order this time. Hope leads to confidence. Confidence leads to grind. Grind leads to hustle. Hustle leads to Huck. All right, I hope that wasn't too painful to listen to. Now, again, it was recorded some time ago, and I was probably all jacked up on caffeine like a spider monk. So I do apologize if it was somewhat difficult to follow. But I think I would hope anyway that you understand the lineage, as it were, of these types of not so much emotions, but mindsets. Now, another thing I really wanted to introduce here is the inverse, I guess, of the final state, Huck. Huck, I believe, is a fantastic word. It's that I parallel it with the Hail Mary pass. And I think we're all familiar with that, even people like me who really don't watch sports at all. Yeah, don't think less of me, but it's not for me. I appreciate it, right? Major tangent here, by the way, but it's not something that drives me. All right. So the Hail Mary pass, obviously, is you have something and you wind up and you have a target downfield and you huck the ball, right? So that's the parallel. Now, the opposite of the Hail Mary pass, in this case, is punt. That's why this episode is called Huck or Punt, because I think we've all reached that point in our lives where we have to really decide. It's not an easy decision. It's not I'm just going to follow the path this way. It's the wide open field with no path. Okay, do I want to put all of my energy into something and target something down the road and put my blinders on and go that direction? And I think we've all been there. I'll be straight with you. That's exactly what this podcast has been for me. It is something that I believe so wholeheartedly in its value and its content and the people it serves, that for the last several months, I have put so much energy on and have foreseen exactly where I would like to go. And I'm happy to tell you that I've achieved that goal to a lesser extent in that it's established and I have an audience. And so I do appreciate that. But now comes the hard part. As much as I want to huck and keep moving forward, I think we all know at this point that I'm facing a certain struggle of my own, maybe several struggles. And I've already identified this in other microsodes, and that's financial. Now, I understand this podcast was never really intentioned to be a breadwinning endeavor, and I've realized just that in the process. So the other concept I will bring to you is punt. And that's exactly where I am today, is the choice between Huck and Punt. Now, it takes all the same lead up for Punt as it does Huck. You need hope. You need confidence. You need grind. You need hustle. But on the fourth down, if the odds are stacked so far and obviously against you, it doesn't make any sense to run a running play or to try and pass the ball. Strategically, it's much better to fall back, punt the ball, and take your chances in the future. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here today. I have a sad announcement in that this is our last regularly scheduled microsode. Now, I won't sit here and tell you that it's our final microsode because that's not accurate. It is and will not be our final episode. That is to say, however, that it won't be scheduled regularly on Thursdays. Now, strategically, I plan on still releasing microsodes, but they will be intermittent. And we've just released our first bonus episode, so I would really hope to continue that trend as well. Unfortunately, those two things cannot be regularly scheduled at this time. So, for now, I'm going to keep all of those elements: hope, confidence, grind, hustle. But right now, it's time to punt. Now, I've been talking recently about non-negotiables, and I think this has really helped me kind of make this decision. I haven't talked about it on the podcast, but non-negotiables are those things in life that, quite obviously, that you do not intend on sacrificing whatsoever. And I want to go over those few that I have with you right now. My number one non-negotiable is dedicated time with my son. Now, I've talked about this before, and I think actually Larry Hagner was the one who brought this up in one of my podcasts, is to be present. That is the number one non-negotiable for me. When I have my son during his waking hours, I am 100% involved with him. This takes work, let me tell you. But I know that my efforts will be rewarded in the long run. So I guess in a way, that's kind of a Huck. My number two non-negotiable is continuing the We Rad Dads podcast. Very few things in life have I felt so passionate about. And I don't care if the listening audience dwindles to a single person. If I can reach out and help that one person, everything I've been struggling with is completely worth it. So do expect that I will continue my full-length interview episodes every Monday. That I do not intend to sacrifice whatsoever. I remember in my struggles in needing something or someone to help me along my way. Even if I didn't have a two-way interaction with that person, I remembered exactly what it was or what it would have been to have something like that in my life. And let's be honest, this podcast may not be perfect for you, but I would hope that it helps. Truth be told, producing this podcast and talking into this microphone to potentially nobody is very helpful for me also. My number three non-negotiable, I'll just say because it's really who I am. I will continue to be genuine me and continue to be upbeat and optimistic, leading by example in my life, for my family, for everyone I come into contact with. And you don't have to resonate with this, but I understand at my core, this is exactly who I am. Why did I share this stuff with you? Well, these are genuine to me, all right? So the goal, the challenge, the gauntlet I set before you here today is discover your non-negotiables. Find 3 things in your life that are so important that you are absolutely unwilling to negotiate on them. Now, I can't expect that you'd want to share them, but if you do, I would love to hear them on the We Rad Dads group page on Facebook. You know, there's a certain accountability with voicing these things, and I find a lot of comfort in doing so. And of course, I wanted to thank you for listening, as always, taking time to hear my voice. Whether or not you agree, it means a lot to know that you spent some of your valuable time today listening to me. And I would, of course, appreciate your feedback. If this or any other of the We Rad Dads podcast has resonated with you, please leave me a review. Go over to iTunes and briefly fill out a review and a rating. It helps me reach other people that are in need, just like us. All right, in closing, I want to identify the overall mood of the microsodes. They've gone from very upbeat to kind of more serious in nature. And quite frankly, I don't know that I'm a huge fan of that because I like to be upbeat. I like to bring entertainment. But sometimes we need to talk about the things in life, the hard things, maybe the good things, but there's some hard things as well. Anyway, I hope you're doing well and keep kicking butt out there, Dad. Stay up. Stay connected, and stay rad, dads.